received some updates to core functionality, such as their dead zone. This will largely depend on how Blizzard does PC Classic, as this was in patch 2.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to run Classic PVC off of 2.4.3, right? So, Hunters are, in Classic PVC, probably not going to have a dead zone. That'd be my expectation.
3, but the Hunter's dead zone was nearly eliminated. As you may know, in Vanilla, if enemies get too close to you, you're unable to shoot or use most of their abilities, as they have a minimum range. There's maximum range.
So, by the way, because people keep asking, to clarify, Classic TBC has not... And I'm like... There's actually no official... This is for Hunters and Warlocks. Scale off of your stats. So I remember one time, like at the end of TBC, I got an entire, this is on my Warlock, I got an entire stam. So I enchanted stam, I gemmed stam, and I went in and like, I had my dungeons tanking, or I had my Voidwalker tanking normal dungeons just to see if it could do it. And like, yeah, it was kind of funny. So yeah, the stat skill. I was gonna say, I totally forget, if, do hunters have, like, a best pet? Or are all the pets kind of, like, normalized and kind of the same? I forget if there's, like, a BIS pet for Arena and a BIS pet, like, one unique pet it's just Ravager? Okay.
Stamina, and so on. To bring up a major weak spot in Vanilla of pets not scaling with you as you gear up. Ravagers are highly sought after for DPS. Warp Stalkers have increased mobility with their warp skill, and much more. Plenty of variety to choose from. Can you become the next Pokemon Master? A pet peeve of yours during Vanilla may be the fragility of your companion, whether it be from PvE or PvP, as they die quite quickly to accidental AoE damage. One of the many new pet talents is Avoidance, which decreases area of effect damage taken by 50%.
I think Warlocks get this also, right? I think Warlock Demons get this also? I think that's a thing. Wait, I think it's in the talent tree. 2.4.3 talent tree. I think it is. Warlock... let me see. It'd be somewhere in Demonology. Maybe I'm bugging, dude. Actually, maybe it's not.
You're not immortal, and you still have to keep an eye on it. But a huge improvement in survivability. For ability roll call, first up we have Steady Shot. Hunter gameplay and rotations in the PvE scene of Vanilla can be described as being pretty stagnant. Unlike many other classes, they have no filler spell, and their gameplay boils down to auto-shooting until Arcane, aimed, or multi-shot come up, depending on your situation, build, or activity. This changed in the Burning Crusade with the addition of Steady Shot, which has no cooldown, and after a short cast, deals moderate damage to an enemy, more so phased. Today, this ability is quite well known because, due to its 20% scaling with ranged attack power, it outpaced nearly every other hunter ability, and top PvE DPS hunters would weave it into this macro along with Kill Command, and use this exclusively as their PvE DPS rotation. Using the term.
So because of this like weaving macro, hunters, at least in PvE at least, are completely fucking brain dead to play. Like, sincerely, you spam one button. You have a one button rotation because of this macro in PvC. But at the same time, as a hunter, you have the highest single target DPS pretty much in the entire game. So it's like one button single target highest DPS, you just fucking own and pub.
Yes, lost using this macro effect. Rapid fire and bestial wrath cooldowns and to kill command already, so let's go over that.
Same for Warlock. The Warlock Warlock, at least you have to maintain survival, right? Anyone play, this is something I experimented with on a TBC private server a long time ago. In tier 4, before you before your tier 4 bis, what I did was I did deep demo and like halfway through Destro, so it was Felguard Destro. It was like Felguard and before I had all my Fist gear. Then once you have your Fist gear and you can scale with your stats a bit better, then you spec whatever the normal spec is. There's like close to tier 4. Demo Destro like current TBC private server players that know about that more than I do. Like, I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's what I remember being best from when I was testing that stuff out.
A critical strike by the hunter. Them. Mana was also an issue for hunters in vanilla. I just said that the gameplay for hunters is auto-shooting.
There you go. And then you have to have your one cuck warlock who's deep affliction, right? For what's it called? Malediction or whatever the fuck it is.
Your abilities are on cooldown. But if you were to do that, you'd find yourself out of mana quite quickly. This was addressed in BC with the new aspect of the Viper, which over time restores mana. And we're surprised to learn that misdirection was in the game as early as the first. This causes the threat generated from your next few attacks to significantly raid.
Yeah, there's a lot of encounters where you like have to use this. For example, like hiking Mulgar. There's a lot of stuff where it like helps a fuck ton.
Party member, which is a huge help. Many classes actually got some sort of ability or passive to help keep their threat down in BC. This is one of them. Overall, threats to abilities. I think it was Wrath is when tanks started getting it pretty easily, but BC is still tricky, and they'll want to use it now. The trap repertoire has been expanded with the addition of Snake Trap, Moving into towns here.
The thing is, like, I would say on average, like across the board, each classes farming if in classic you're able to farm like if that's what you can do. You know, in TBC you can maybe expect to farm 250 gold per hour. I'm not even kidding. It's in TBC.
I won't really go over all of them because I want this to be a general overview. I will cover the new abilities and the major stuff.
Pikachu,
First
hey
is
dude.
Ferocious Inspiration,
hey,
which gives your party a damage buff after your pet scores a critical hit. This is one of the many little buffs that many specs bring, as you'll see. Blizzard wanted a more even representation of the specs across the board, and they didn't do this just by
Paladin farming. Hey, listen, dude. What would you say the two farming specs? I'd say probably Druid. Like, shit, but also super cure prop paladin. Super crazy gold per hour. Prop paladin is fucking insane, dude. There's a reason I have a prop paladin. Okay, that is it's a TBC investment, dude.
Increasing the damage or covering weak spots. They did this by giving various party buffs, so inevitably when some specs would fall behind, there's always a reason to bring them. People describe this as
super random memory. I feel like as SL Warlock, having thought about this in a long time, it's like since fucking 2007, I think the spec ends up with you having 1 point in Shadow. Right? That's like a total random memory from over a decade ago, right? The SL Warlock spec has just 1 point in Shadow Embrace as Dispel Protection, I think.
But moving on, in Beast Mastery, you gain the Beast Within. It
but so many memories
your
proc,
Beast
dude.
Wrath effect onto the hunter. Marksmanship hunters gain silencing shot. In vanilla, they lacked any sort of interrupt casters, scope and scatter and intimidation. This goes up the weak spot. Obviously, everything. Survival also gets a crucial supporting debuff called Expose Weakness, which causes your crits to increase the attack power of all raid members by a portion of your agility. And
this is very good. So I also think you have one cuck hunter who just pretty much stacks exclusively agility. So you have 3 pumper hunters and one cuck hunter who stack literally gems, enchants, itemizers, and everything. Victory! Just boost the fuck out of that.
One survival hunter for this debuff alone.
Yeah.
Overall, hunters are very well represented in the Burning Crusade. heard from many that the top DPSers. Their beast mastery swing shines through, making use of the steady shot macro as described earlier. Some will say simple, others boring, but nonetheless very powerful. Survival is also important. It's not as potent as Beastmaster, but that debuff brings valuable support, and they'll always be wanted for that.